Hey everybody in the VC, it's Matt. Today I'm going to do something that I haven't done in quite a while. I'm going to submit a contest entry, a VC contest entry. I saw this, I was watching one of Zep Pearl's videos and he was doing a response, an entry to the contest. And the contest is put on by a guy named Steve, who goes by the VC channel name of All the World's a Stage. So go over there and check out his channel and subscribe. I did. He's got some good stuff over there, and you should enter too. It's a fun contest. More than that, it's a really easy contest. It's short and sweet. 3 questions. You can put an entry together and submit it lickety split, and you can win a really nice prize. Steve showed the prize, sort of. He held up an Amazon box unopened, said that whoever wins this will find out what it is when it lands on their doorstep. But he did say that it is a super deluxe box set edition of a recently box set release of an album, classic album. He didn't leave us totally in the dark. He showed 10 or 12 of his super deluxe box sets and said it might be one of these, or sneaky guy, it might not be any of these, it might be something else. But the ones that he showed are prime real estate albums and some really great possibilities. So whoever wins whatever it is gonna walk away with a really nice prize. It goes without saying. Anyway, the contest is that Steve is going to turn 65 years old next month. Happy birthday, Steve. Time flies. Man, it seems like when I first met you, you were a mere 64. Here you're going on to 65. Anyway, in honor of his 65th birthday, he put together a little contest centered around the year 1965. So he's got 3 questions. Like I said, they're pretty direct, pretty short and sweet. And the questions are: show, or if you don't have it, talk about your favorite album from 1965. Same thing with your favorite 45, or your favorite song of 1965. That's the second question. And the third question is: show something from or discuss some kind of event that occurred in 1965, something that was going on in the world, in the news, somebody famous that was born that year or died that year, or some event that happened in 1965. So what a great year in music, and it's just an embarrassment of riches to choose from. There's so many great albums, so many great songs in 1965. Man, I wish we had a quarter, well, hell, a tenth of the amount of great music that 1965 produced in nowadays, in these years we're going through. Sadly, we don't, but 1965 sure was a bumper crop year of great music. So a lot to choose from. My favorite album from that year, Help by the Beatles. I'm going with the American cover because here's the British cover, which, well, nice enough, is kind of bland and boring. That's probably the most boringest, if that's a word, Beatles album cover in the UK, I would say. It's alright, but man, the American one, I love it. It pops. It's just like a comic book. I could imagine, and I was 2 years old in 1965, but I could imagine how fun this must have been to go into the record store and see this brand new. I don't know that this came out before the movie did or not, but around the same time or whatever. But and it sort of it sums up the movie, I think, with the album cover. Plus, with the British cover, you don't get a gatefold. You just get the front cover. You get the back cover. They're all right. You get a cool front cover with the American. You get a really cool back cover. You get a gatefold with some text and a bunch of really cool pictures of the Beatles. I remember being a kid and wondering if they played horns on this album somewhere, because I got this album back when I was like 9 years old in 1972, 73. I don't even mind that you've got the film music on here, because this is the one I grew up with. This is the one that's got the James Bond intro to Help that's not on the British album and not on the British 45 as far as I know. Help just doesn't sound right without the James Bond intro. And, you know, so the British album has some things on it that ended up on our Rubber Soul. I've just seen a face and stuff like that just fit on Rubber Soul more than they do on Help, even though they were recorded at the time of Help. But I love the American Help album, and Help's my favorite album of 1965. And like I said, there were a whole lot of things to choose from. Question number 2, show or talk about your favorite song from 1965. My favorite song from 1965 is the title track of this, Help. Help's my favorite song of all time. So I don't want to say Help and Help. And there are plenty of other great songs in 1965. I used to have the 45 of this. I no longer do. I don't know what happened to it, so I'm just going to show, and I don't have it on vinyl, so I'm going to show the CD, the title track to this great album, which I think is The Who's second best album in my opinion. But My Generation, which is probably my favorite song of theirs, it's either that or I Can See for Miles. They're neck and neck. But what a great song. And you know, I didn't really hear this song till later, when I was, I mean, obviously in 1965, I was 2 years old. I don't think it got much airplay in the U.S. It was a big hit in England, but it didn't really do anything in America. But I didn't hear this till about 1978, round about the time of the Who Are You album. And then a couple of months after that came out, Keith Moon dies, and they played this on the radio when they were talking about Keith Moon. And I knew, before Who Are You, I knew who of the Who. I really didn't know anything except for Pinball Wizard and Squeezebox. I knew they had been around in the 60s and were contemporaries of the Beatles and the Kinks and the Stones, but I didn't know any of their 60s music that I could remember ever having heard. First time I heard My Generation, I was probably 14, I think. Just blew me out of the water. What a great song. So, I don't know that that's necessarily my favorite song. Help would be my favorite song in 1965. I already said that, but what a 10, what a classic, what a great song. My Generation by The Who. And the third question, like I said, was talk about some event in 1965 or about someone who was born or died that year, that someone that you like. And I looked through, I even Googled news events in 1965, and there's, you know, a ton of stuff. List of people also that were born and died that year. But I got towards the end of because it was month by month, and I got to the end and said, oh man, why didn't I think of this? So on what was it, December 9th 1965, this premiered for the first time. And there's a whole story about how this was made that was interesting. The network wasn't sure that it was going to fly or be a success. Of course, it became an instant classic. But I love this, and I can't say that I saw it in 1965. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. I would have been, 2 years and 3 months old in December of 1965. But I do remember from a very young age, probably 3-4 years old, watching this with my parents every Christmas, looking forward to it. And I'm pretty sure, I'm 57 now, I'm pretty sure I've watched this from at least time I was 3 or 4 every single year up to now. And so it's anyone who see my old videos knows I love Christmas. I've got tons of Christmas records and love Christmas movies and specials and all. This is my absolute favorite Christmas show of all time. So this came out in 1965, and it's a classic. So there you go, Steve. Happy birthday. Subscribe to your channel, watch some of your other videos. I'll be looking forward to your new ones. And for anyone else, go over to All the World's a Stage. Go over to Steve's channel, subscribe, check it out. Wish him a happy birthday. Enter his contest, and you might win a nifty deluxe box set of something. But it's going to be something great, I'm betting. Take care, everybody.